Welcome back. Happy New Year. Week 18. Here is
Toast you all early to a
Flash
fantastic
Football
2025.
Sports Podcast. Fred has
Pays to buy the best.
I've got my LaCroix, you know,
Nice.
Limon,
Carlotta
sparkling
has that too.
sparkling water. Who has that?
Carlotta has that.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
The
Sparkling
Spanish girl.
water. That's my trademark. It's part of my trademark. I don't drink
Does it
alcohol.
mean the cross? The craw? The
LaCroix,
croix?
LaCroix, LaCroix,
The
baby.
crow? Is it like the bird?
Yeah, you say like it's a French word.
Okay.
Welcome back to Week 18. We were 6-0 last week. We just did some damage. We crushed
I,
Vegas. Let's
I
do it
got an
again.
update. Sporty Paul's kicking ass. He's doing 88%. Record since week 4, 37-5. And the D Reg, 36-6, 86%.
So we're
And
crushing it. So both
so
both.
so we're like, let's see. So I think we're like 50% better than Colleen Wolfe and 60% better than Richard Sherman. So yeah,
Well, if they're smart, they should recruit our talent
we're,
and give us anything we want.
we're the wrong we're the wrong gender, and we our hair our ancestors come from the wrong continent.
Right, and we don't look like Brad Pitt or George Clooney. So
Uh,
that's our yeah, that's what they think our problem is, but we don't have any problems. We we are we are handsome and smart, and most importantly, we know what we're doing. We do our research. Um, we have the picks that count. We do damage. We crush Vegas every week. That's what we do here. Okay,
there it is.
and let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's crush
All
Vegas.
right, man. Start it off, Sporty Paul.
All right, my pick number one for week 18. Give me the Baltimore Ravens to defeat the Cleveland Browns. Uh, the Ravens that they want to beat the Browns so that they can ice first place in the AFC North. So they need that game to do that. Um, the Browns have DTR as their quarterback. Okay, so as we've talked about before, as I've mentioned, DTR as a quarterback averages 13 points a game. This game is in Baltimore. I would say the Ravens are going to score at least 35 points. So I think final score Ravens 35, Browns 10. Um, the Browns, they're just a discombobulated team. They haven't been playing well all year. Stefanski does not have the pulse of the players. Even the fans are very disappointed and disillusioned with those Browns. Not a good team.
Remember when they were like they couldn't wait to get Baker Mayfield out of town? Yeah, and
Exactly.
he's on a playoff team now, and it's pretty much. I guess you kind of did see his potential there, Stepanski or whatever your name is.
That's right. That's right. Baker Mayfield's a champ. He's a champ, and he's going far in the playoffs this year. He's going to win this week too. Um, and yeah, that Cleveland Browns team, they're just so discombobulated and confused. They've got some good defensive players, but unfortunately, even those defensive, Miles Garrett, for example, he's a great player and everything, but he doesn't really have a lot of great players around him. Or, more importantly, he doesn't have the pulse of the other players, where they're focused in on all winning. Uh, and then they've got a bad quarterback in DTR who averages, just 13 points a game as a quarterback. So, whereas the Ravens, they looked really good against the Texans. I got to say, they look solid. Got a solid running group with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. They've got some pass catchers. Even Mark Andrews is catching the ball like crazy, and likely also like really good tight ends. They got Zay Flowers. They've got a lot of good players, and that defense is solid. They shut the Texans down in Week 17. So for all those reasons, give me the Baltimore Ravens as my number one pick in Week 18. Let's crush Vegas. What's your
All
first
right,
pick?
man. My number one pick, going on that Baker Mayfield theme. The Buccaneers are going to go. They're going to try and win out to the playoffs. So I'm going Bucs money line against the Aints. The Aints are just pitiful. I don't know who's more pitiful, the Cleveland Browns or the Aints. So I'm going Baker Ma and the Buccaneers, Mike Evans and company to put a pounding on the New Orleans Aints for my pick number one.
I like that pick number one. That's actually my pick number two. Um, Buccaneers, as I mentioned earlier, Baker Mayfield is playing well, and they got Bucky Irving's playing well. Those, and then they've got Mike Evans. All those that's a threesome there as an offensive unit is playing outstanding. They're doing really well. Um, they're putting up great numbers. They're defeating solidly their opponents every week. This week they're playing the Saints, as D-Reg said. The Saints don't even have any notable offensive players that are playing. Derek Carr, their quarterback's not playing. I doubt if Alvin Kamara is going to even play. At this point, he's questionable. Um, and Olave's on IR. So, Michael Thomas, the guy.
What happened to Michael Thomas? Where is Michael Thomas?
The likely proximity is he's on some kind of injury list. He's always injured. The second they paid him was the second he got injured. From a bad karma point of view, I wouldn't want to be Michael Thomas, okay? Because all he does is get injured. He's gotten all this money, and all he does is appear on these injury reports, and we never see him on the field. So
He was good there once upon a time. He was pretty good there. He had a couple of good years there, and then
he
and
was,
then
and the second he
yeah,
got paid, he went south. Very sad, from a psychological
pathetic.
standpoint. I wouldn't want to be Michael Thomas, because we want to get paid for a hard day's work, and we want to put a good hard day's work in every day. If we're a football player or whatever we do, right? And he hasn't done that. But it's consistent with the New Orleans Saints. They don't have any offensive players. Rattler's going to be their quarterback. We don't honestly think that Rattler can compete with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and Bucky Irving. We don't think that. So for all those reasons, the Bucs are in a situation where they have to win. If they lose and Atlanta wins, Atlanta goes to the playoffs and the Bucs go home. So the Falcons did beat the Buccaneers twice. So the Bucs are in a situation where they have to win. So
That's some good stats there, man. That's a good factoid.
thank you, brother. So for all those reasons, as D-Reg and I are saying, Bucs are going to win. So the Buccaneers are my pick number 2 for Week 18. Go Bucs.
All right, and my pick number two. I'm feeling in love for Jordan Love. Yeah, he is. They want to keep winning, I think, and the Bears are about as pathetic an offense like those other two that you just mentioned. It's just pathetic. It's just pathetic. They could resuscitate Bart Starr and still beat the Bears. Dig him up. They get the crane out and dig him up. I think they could still beat the Bears with Bart Starr as quarterback.
That's
But
right. The only
so
exception would be if we pulled Ditka out of retirement. Okay, but
in that case, it would be Ditka 77, Packers nothing.
But
That's
the Bears organization is that type of organization where they fired Ditka, right? They fired Ditka when he had a okay. They fired him the year he won the Super Bowl. Okay, so he wins the Super Bowl in the '80s, right? Then the next year he's got a record of 10-6, and they fired him. So that's the kind of organization that the Bears is. And then they have that Eberflus guy. Making all these really dumb decisions, clock management problems. And then the other thing with the Bears is some of these players are just like they're so mediocre in their professional attitudes. Okay,
aren't the Bears the perfect team for Butterfingers Keenan Allen? I mean, that guy.
they sure are.
eh, they're the perfect team.
They
They're the
sure are.
perfect team.
Yeah, they're the perfect team for Keenan Allen, where he says he's ready to play, and he makes one. There's one target in the end zone. He jumps, he lands wrong, and then he takes himself out of the game. So,
And
you know,
he's got back problems, questionable for return. Of course, he never returns.
of course, he
He
never
never.
returns. And then
He's not Mike Evans. Mike Evans is my favorite receiver because that guy's as tough as they come, and he wants to come back in the game. Keenan Allen, I'm worried about my next contract. Maybe I'll go in the spa. I'll go. I'll go in the jacuzzi.
that's
So
right. That's right.
to,
Exactly.
to finish
So
off that to finish off that pick, I'm going Packers money line. They're going to beat them. Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. I say to myself, I'm going Packers and Bucks so far. What about your pick number 3,
my
Sporty
pick
Paul?
number 3 is I also like the Packers. How could I not like the Packers to defeat the Bears? Okay, we'll elaborate a little more. Okay, so the Packers they're trying to they're trying to improve their seeding in the playoffs. The Bears are out of it. The game is in Green Bay. Okay. Um,
Right.
the Bears. Um, okay, so I gotta honestly say that there's a lot of immaturity in that offensive unit. Okay, um, Caleb Williams, I'm not impressed with his maturity. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Okay, they conduct themselves like 5-year-olds. Okay, so they're DJ Moore even came out today. He came out yesterday. Oh, we think Pete Carroll would be a great coach. It's like, okay,
It's
really?
like 80 years old.
So Pete Carroll is the solution. So what you guys are running the team? See, that's the problem with the Bears. Okay, you get some high profile players, and they think they run the team. Okay, and then they're so dumb that they'll say, yeah, let's get Pete Carroll.
Think about this.
How about someone
Yeah.
different? Somebody who's someone like Ben Johnson. I say to Ben Johnson, hey Ben Johnson, don't go to the Bears, man. It's a train wreck team. It's a train wreck management system there, and then also that Ryan Poles, and then also the players, man. It's just a bad environment. So my recommendation to Ben Johnson, hey, I'm a Cowboys fan. Can you come over to the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys? We'd love you, in Dallas. I don't think that's going to happen because the Cowboys have hit a wall of stupidity ever since we won in the '90s and the '70s. The '70s and the '90s were my Cowboy years. But
You mean to
hopefully,
tell me you don't like that pained, confused look on Mike McCarthy's face every time he's losing?
yeah, exactly. The only time we don't see that look is like when they were playing the Bucs, and it's clearly they're out of it, right? So the players get tired.
They only have a good game when they're out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's only going to be one good game, right? So the next week after the good game, they're going to be back to how they played against the Eagles last week, right? So I'm trying to get us back to that cowboy noble, you know, football player, pillar of the community players, right? From the '70s, Roger Staubach, Randy White, Tony Dorsett, list goes on and on. Tony Hill, um, Harvey Martin, um, but we're not there. So Bears are like the dysfunctional Cowboys, whereas the Packers are playing for something. Okay, they're playing for something. They're playing for seeding. I like Josh Jacobs on the Packers. He's my favorite player on the Packers. I think Jordan Love's having an okay year, but I think the center of that team is Josh Jacobs, and he's consistent. So for a prop bet, throw it on Josh Jacobs to get an anytime touchdown. That's a bonus
I like that.
from
I
Sporty
like that.
Paul. He has gotten touchdowns 7 weeks in a row. So 7 games in a row, he's gotten a touchdown. So I don't see how that's going to change with the Bears. Okay, the
Yeah.
Bears, that defense has a lot of potential, but they've been mailing it in since about week 6. Let's face it. Ever since that Hail Mary pass, where they gave up the game to the Commanders because they were conducting themselves like 5-year-olds, um, the defense of the Bears have been mailing it in. Okay, so for all those reasons, give me Packers money line for my number 3 pick in Week 18. What's your pick three number 3 in Week 18?
Well, Sporty Paul, I'm going to go Dirty Birds. They looked pretty good last week, and I do like them to open up a can of whoop ass on the Carolina Panthers. Just shut that team down. I mean, Bryce Young made some good progress this year, but yeah, they're going to beat the Panthers. Penix looked pretty good last week. Like I got to give him credit.
He
He looked
did.
pretty good.
He did look good. And
So I think they're gonna.
I can honestly say I won big because I had Commanders. But he did. He did look good there at the end. You know.
I don't
And I
even
was
know do the
very proud.
Falcons even have a chance for the playoffs. But it's the Buccaneers only if the Buccaneers lose, right?
Yeah, yeah. So if the Buccaneers lose, but the Falcons have to win. Okay, so
Okay, so there you go. Yeah,
yeah,
that's our
but
only chance.
yeah, if the Buccaneers lose and the Falcons win, Falcons win. Falcons go to the playoffs. So
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 yeah,
yeah,
I mean, so I'm pulling. I just think they'll win the game. There's no chance in hell. There's no chance in hell the Buccaneers are going to lose to the Aints.
I don't think
Unless they do
so.
another terrorist attack in New Orleans. But um, yeah, I mean, I was just going to put one more word in for the Bengals. I'm going to be pulling for them. But the Bengals need help. They need the Jets to beat the Dolphins. What else do they need? Bengals beat the Steelers. Jets beat the Dolphins. I still don't see that happening. Are the Bengals in?
The only way the Bengals will be in is if the Broncos lose and the Dolphins lose.
Right.
If the Broncos and the Dolphins lose and the Bengals win, they're in.
All right. Okay. Well,
So,
I'm still scratching my head about the Denver 10.5 point favorite thing. I mean, are the Chiefs just going to lay down for Sean Payton? I mean,
I don't think so. I think I'm gonna as one of my bets in Vegas this week. I'm gonna take the points. I'll take the points. I'll take the Chiefs in 10.5.
I was
Um,
thinking about that too, but I removed it from my list because I smell a rat.
yeah. I'm also gonna put it in a teaser. I'm thinking Vikings plus 10, um, Chiefs plus 17.5. Okay, in a 2-leg 7-point teaser. Okay, so the Broncos. I mean, the bottom line is, even if they win, they're not going to beat the Chiefs by 10.5 points. Okay.
I find that hard to believe. That'd be some serious cheating, but and some serious laying down. But I don't know. I'm staying away from that game. But I think you're right. They should be able to cover. They may even beat them.
Yeah, that's not one of my official picks, but
Right.
I think that's a good investment. I'm going to do it anyway. That's not one of my official picks, but I think Lions beat the Vikings, but I don't think they beat them by 10. I think they beat them by probably 3 to 6 points. And I think Broncos might beat the Chiefs, but they might not. Okay. If we look at Andy Reid over the last 10 years, he's 9-1 ATS in Week 18. Okay. So you know what that says to Sean Payton? Hey man, you might not even win the game, Sean Payton. Okay. Um, but Yeah, I think that's a good teaser. That's just a
Well,
bump.
I'll be pulling for Joe Burrow and the Bengals. You know, don't like the Dolphins. Don't like the Broncos. I mean, so
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be.
go
I mean,
Burrow.
I like that too. I would like the Bengals to. I like the Bengals to advance.
Those
So
other teams are better than those other teams. They're better than them, but
yeah,
they've had some brain farts throughout the year to put them all their own selves in this position.
yeah. I like Joe Burrow and that offensive unit. Judge Jamar Chase has a lot of heart. Gesicki has been playing really good as a tight end. T. Higgins is really an all-star wide receiver. How it's even questionable that they don't want to sign T. Higgins. I mean, I got to say to the Cincinnati Bengals staff, hey guys, screw your head back on straight because T. Higgins is one of your main offensive players.
They haven't even signed Jamar Chase yet. You know, you get busy, guys.
Get busy, guys. Hey, Reg, let's wrap it up.
All right, man. Well, week 18. Good luck, everybody. Love you. And Cowabunga. Cowabunga from the beach. And I'm gonna go take a swim.
Well, hey, I enjoyed your fireplace there a couple weeks ago, and I know last week you're back in the tropics, so I'm happy that you're there. I'm in California here. I've got my donning my San Jose Sharks jersey. We're in hockey season here. Okay, we
Go
want
Sharkies.
we want hockey. Okay, I'm a Panthers fan. I support our local Sharks. I'm also a Chicago Blackhawks fan. So we're into hockey, and but back to NFL. We're at the hockey season, but back to NFL. Let's have a great week 18. Let's crush them, and we're going to have a very profitable playoffs for the NFL. D. Reg and I, and so
Absolutely. Alex Ovechkin is 26 goals away from the goal record of Gretzky, and of course he'll never catch him in assists. That's gonna.
that's
But
true.
good for Ovi. Love Ovi. So we're looking forward to him breaking the record.
That's right. And my favorite player, Kachuk. Hey, thanks, brother. You made it very profitable for me in the Stanley Cup. You guys are awesome. I liked how you guys came back in Game 7. So go Panthers.
I love his dad. I used to love Keith Kachuk. He kind of looks like us. He's having a good time with his life too.
That's right. That's
So
right. We don't
yeah,
have
I love Keith Kachuk.
we don't have to look like Brad Pitt to have a good time, right? So
No, I mean I'd love to invite Keith Kachuk. He'd be my number one person to invite on the podcast. He's having a blast, man.
that's right.
Just
One of my former girlfriends, she was inside Hollywood Insider, and she said that one thing about the Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, all they do is smoke cigarettes. So they walk around and they think they're cute, and everybody says they're good looking and everything, and all they do is smoke cigarettes. They're both chain smokers. So hey, what's going on? What's going on with those good looks? You got to smoke cigarettes all the time? All right, man. Well, everybody have a great week.
I'll just
Go.
leave you with this. What else can you say? Brad Pitt and George Clooney are gay. All
There you go. I love it. I love it. We're gonna see.
right, have fun, guys.
Hey, have a great week 18. Go with our picks, and
Love you. Go Bengals. Go Lions.
go Bengals, go Lions, go Ravens,
Yeah,
go,
baby.
go Packers,
And go Bills for
go
my straight
Bills,
bet.
baby. Bills are going to
All
win, and Chiefs are going to win
right,
the Super
baby.
Bowl. Throw it on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Okay.
I love that bet. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk after our winnings this week. We're gonna talk
Oh yeah.
about the Chiefs.
Throw it on the Chiefs right now to win the Super Bowl. There's no way they're not.
Three-peat. Three-peat.
Three-peat,
Three.
baby. Okay, you guys have a great week. Love you guys. Ciao.
Love you guys. Bye.